Let's discuss about the compounds of nitrogen, dinitrogen, N2. N2 is obtained by the distillation, fractional distillation of liquid air. Liquid air, when you undergo fractional distillation, because of its low boiling point, it comes out first from different gases. It comes out first and it is being collected, and this is liquid nitrogen. So air is being passed under particular pressure of 100 to 200 atmosphere. The gas is compressed and air is compressed, which undergoes fractional distillation, and liquid air comes out in the droplet form. And then the dinitrogen is obtained by the fractional distillation of liquid air. So liquid air, if you take and undergo fractional distillation, you get dinitrogen. Liquid dinitrogen has a boiling point of 77.2 Kelvin, and liquid oxygen with a boiling point of 90 Kelvin. Now, how it is prepared in lab? In laboratory, it is prepared by the reaction of ammonium chloride with sodium nitrite. Ammonium chloride and sodium nitrite, when heated, forms sodium chloride and ammonium nitrite. Ammonium nitrite, on heating, decomposes to give water and dinitrogen gas. Dinitrogen gas is formed on the surface of water. It is also obtained by heating ammonium dichromate. That is, if you take ammonium dichromate, you get dinitrogen gas, vapor, and chromic oxide. Chromic oxide is green, which is formed in the test tube, and dinitrogen comes out first. Other method is by the decomposition of sodium azide or barium azide. If you take thermal decomposition of sodium or barium azide, you get sodium metal and dinitrogen gas, or barium and dinitrogen gas. So these are the different modes or methods to prepare dinitrogen. Sodium azide on heating forms N2, barium azide on heating forms N2, and these N2 are used to inflate airbags as safety device in some cars. N2 inflated airbags. So N2 has an application. Now the physical properties of N2. In N2, there are three bonds between N, which makes it inert. The physical properties: it's colorless, odorless, tasteless, non-toxic gas. The vapor density is 14. It's slightly lighter than air. It can be condensed to a colorless liquid. So N2, we have liquid N2, and this liquid N2 has a boiling point of 77.2 Kelvin. It can also be solidified under a high pressure to a white snow-like mass with a melting point of 63 Kelvin. Now N2, this is a diamagnetic in nature by its molecular orbital arrangement. It is slightly soluble in water, that is at 273 Kelvin, and 1 bar 23.2 ml per liter of water is its solubility. That is 23.2 milliliter of N2 is in 1 liter of water. In N2, there are 3 bonds between N atoms, which makes it inert, and it has bond dissociation enthalpy as very high. The energy required to break the bond is 945.4 kJ per mole, which is very high. This is because of small atomic radii of two N atom, they form strong covalent bond, and hence N2 exists in the form of gas under room temperature. It is chemically inactive. Lithium, when you pass with nitrogen, it combines with it to form lithium nitride. So when nitrogen is passed to lithium, it forms a compound lithium nitride, and this compound is reactive in nature. It is highly ionic. Lithium nitride on heating forms ionic nitride. At higher temperature, dinitrogen reacts with elements from group 2, group 13 and group 14. It combines with hydrogen as well as oxygen and transition elements. So this is about dinitrogen. It combines with magnesium under heating condition to form magnesium nitride, aluminium nitride, calcium nitride. So it reacts with majority of the metals. It reacts with hydrogen under high pressure and catalyst to form ammonia. Haber process it is, which is a important chemical to form fertilizer. Nitrogen combines with oxygen at 2000 Kelvin to form nitric oxide. So dinitrogen combines with oxygen to form nitric oxide, but under high conditions of temperature. N2 is having application. It is used as a chemically inert gas in filling food items, in sealing. It is used as an inert atmosphere in iron, steel and other metallurgical industries. It prevents the formation of undesirable oxide. So if we pass N2 gas, it prevents the formation of undesirable oxide. It also prevents the harmful effect of oxygen. It dilutes the activity of oxygen, that is, it reduces the oxidation nature of oxygen. In respiration, the preservation of packed food material. So N2, let's discuss now the second Haber process. It is used to form ammonia, important chemical. So N2 is used to manufacture ammonia, which is then used to manufacture different fertilizers. Diammonium phosphate, calcium cyanamide. So nitrolim is another fertilizer which is used. So nitrogen is used to form different chemicals basically which are used in fertilizers. It is liquid dinitrogen is used as a refrigerant to preserve biological material. It is also used in cryosurgery to remove unwanted warts and other skin lesions. So for cryosurgery, we use liquid nitrogen. Our second compound we are going to discuss in group 15 is ammonia. Ammonia is NH3. Ammonia preparation. The methods to prepare ammonia is by the bacterial degradation. So the bacterial degradation of soils or urea results in the formation of ammonia. Urea reacts with water to give ammonium carbonate, which decomposes to give ammonia, water and carbon dioxide. This is one of the most important method in nature. In chemical laboratory method, ammonium chloride reacts with calcium hydroxide or slaked lime or caustic soda to form ammonia, water and calcium chloride. So ammonium chloride and slaked lime or caustic soda if you take, and if you heat it, you get ammonia gas, which is formed and further collected. So you have the displaced air coming from downside, and on the up you have ammonia being formed. So this is a laboratory preparation. Ammonium chloride plus slaked lime or ammonium sulfate plus slaked lime, you get ammonia gas, water and calcium sulfate. Ammonium nitrate and ammonium dichromate does not react with slaked lime to give ammonia. So ammonium nitrate and slaked lime does not form ammonia. Ammonium nitrate undergoes decomposition and ammonium dichromate undergoes decomposition from N2 and ammonium nitrate to form nitrous oxide. Ammonium chloride or ammonium sulfate reacts with calcium hydroxide to give ammonia. In industry, it is prepared by Haber process. Fritz Haber prepared ammonia, N2 and hydrogen combined with high pressure and moderate temperature to form ammonia. Now it's a reversible reaction, so the conditions has to be maintained. The delta H formation of ammonia is negative 92.4 kJ per mole, that is, it is exothermic reaction. Formation of ammonia is an exothermic reaction. And for 1 mole of N2, you require 3 mole of H2 to give 2 mole of NH3. So, the number of mole of product formed is less than that of the reactant. The reaction will proceed in forward direction with a remarkable decrease in volume, according to Le-Chatelier principle. The reaction is exothermic. Delta H is negative, so it's negative, exothermic in nature. So to get better yield of ammonia, the conditions has to be applied. We use generally catalyst Fe in presence of molybdenum. So the rate of reaction was found to be low at lower temperature. That is very less, N2 and H2 combined, but the rate of temperature was optimum around a temperature of 700 Kelvin. So at optimum temperature, ammonia is formed at a good yield, that is near around 700 Kelvin. And a catalyst, which is Fe3O4, and a promoter alumina is used to carry out Haber process, and the pressure should be high, nearly 200 to 300 atm. So the correct method or the complete process carried out in industry to form ammonia is N2 plus H2 combining in presence of Fe3O4 and Al2O3 in 200 to 300 atm at 700 Kelvin to form 2NH3, and the delta H is negative 92.2 kJ per mole. So this is the complete method to prepare Haber process. The flow chart indicates the formation of ammonia gas. N2 and H2, both the gases are passed through different inlets and then they are compressed around 200 to 300 atmosphere. The compressed gas is passed through the recycled pump on the one side, and once N2 combines with H2, it's compressed. The gases, when passed through the compressor, they get compressed, and this compressed gas will pass into the catalytic chamber, which contains catalyst. At 700 Kelvin, the compressed gas will pass through catalytic chamber. The catalyst will be sprayed around 700 Kelvin, and the gases coming out will be cooled because they are at high temperature. So you have cooling pipe which will absorb the heat, and then we get liquid ammonia, and the unreacted gases will come out in the recycling pump. The structure of ammonia. In ammonia, the central atom is sp3 hybridized and it has one lone pair. N undergoes sp3 hybridization resulting in tetrahedral geometry and pyramidal structure. In ammonia, N and H forms covalent bond, so it's a covalent molecule. N has hybridization of sp3. 3 hybrid orbital have 1 unpaired electron which overlaps with hydrogen's s orbital containing 1 electron to form covalent bond, and 1 hybrid orbital contain a lone pair. So to minimize lone pair bond pair repulsion, it does not have a tetrahedral geometry, but instead it takes place in a pyramidal form. To minimize a lone pair bond pair repulsion, it has a pyramidal structure or pyramidal arrangement. Trigonal pyramidal shape. Hybridization is sp3 but trigonal pyramidal shape. And 1 lone pair is present. So sp3 hybridized, and the bond angle HNH is 107.8 degree, not 109.5, because it is minimizing its bond pair, lone pair repulsion. Now, properties of ammonia. It is a colorless gas with a pungent smell. The boiling point of ammonia is 239.7 Kelvin and the freezing point is 198.4 Kelvin. Ammonia has ability to form intermolecular hydrogen bond in both liquid and solid state. So ammonia has its ability to form hydrogen bond, which accounts for its high boiling and high melting point, what is expected from its molecular mass. So we expected low melting boiling point, but it is higher even though its molecular mass is 17 because of intermolecular hydrogen bond. As a result, it has high heat of vaporization. It requires more energy to break the intermolecular H bond, so it has high heat of vaporization. Due to its ability to form hydrogen bond, it is highly soluble in water. 1176 volume of gas can be dissolved in 1 volume of water at 273 Kelvin, and this reason is because of the ability of ammonia to form hydrogen bonding with water. The aqueous solution of ammonia is alkaline as it forms ammonium hydroxide, which is a weak base. So it's alkaline in nature as it releases OH minus ion. Ammonia reacts with water to form NH4OH, which dissociates as NH4 plus and OH minus. The dissociation constant is very small, indicating that it is a weak base. So ammonia, even though it does not have an OH, it is a alkaline because it reacts with water and it also gains H plus and forms NH4 plus. So it's acting as a Lewis base. Lewis base are lone pair donor or electron pair donor are Lewis base. So it combines with electron deficient Lewis acid to form salt. It combines with acid to form ammonium salt as these ammonia are Lewis base in nature, that is NH3 combined with HCl to form NH4Cl, in which NH4 has a plus charge and Cl minus, so it's ammonium salt, ammonium chloride. So if you take aqueous ammonia and add it to zinc sulfate, it forms zinc hydroxide, that is it's precipitate out hydroxide of metal from the aqueous salt solution. FeCl3, you add ammonium hydroxide, you get reddish brown FeOH whole thrice. So it's used in qualitative analysis in salt analysis to detect the presence of group 3 hydroxides. So FeCl3, you add NH4OH, you get reddish brown PPT of ferric hydroxide. So it precipitate hydroxide of metal from the aqueous salt solution. So it is used in qualitative analysis. Ammonia is also used to detect the presence of copper, which is present in water. It forms complex compound with transition metal ions. That is specifically with copper we have done silver, cadmium. It reacts. So if you take ammonia and add to copper sulfate solution, it will form a deep blue complex. Tetraamine copper 2 sulfate solution would be obtained. A deep blue complex is formed. Again, this is a confirmatory test for detecting ammonium. If ammonium is present, this will react with copper sulfate to form a blue color PPT, blue color solution. Ammonia with AgCl solution, you get diamine silver 1 chloride, it turns into colorless. So it combines with metal ions to form complex compound. Ammonia combined with metal to form coordinate bond as it has a lone pair and complexes are formed. So transition element combined with metal ion to form complex. Copper, you react with ammonia, it forms copper tetraamine complex. So now uses of ammonia. It is used in the liquid state as a refrigerant. In compressor, it is being used. The uses of ammonia is as refrigerant, to make fertilizers. Different fertilizers can be formed from ammonium salts, ammonium sulfate, ammonium phosphate. These are different salts which are commonly used as fertilizer. Ammonia is used in different industries for the formation of other organic compounds like nitric acid, baking soda, washing soda, different oxides of nitrogen. So now the next is oxides of nitrogen. Nitrogen 1 oxide, which is nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, nitrogen trioxide, nitrogen tetroxide, and dinitrogen pentoxide. N2O, NO, N2O3, N2O4, N2O5, in which N has +1, +2, +3, +4, +5 oxidation state. The lower oxides +1, +2, and the higher oxides are that of +3, +4, and +5. So we shall discuss the oxides of nitrogen, the physical structure, the chemical nature, and its preparation. Nitrogen 1 oxide, which is dinitrogen oxide or nitrous oxide. The resonating structure of nitrogen 1 oxide are given. 2N forms 3 bond with N with plus and a single oxygen with minus. It is obtained by the decomposition of ammonium nitrate. Ammonium nitrate, when you decompose it, the gas is getting displaced. You have the formation of N2O. It is a colorless gas. It is fairly soluble in cold water. It has least solubility in hot water. It is also known as laughing gas. Nitrous oxide is also responsible for laughing, so it's called laughing gas. It produces hysterical laughter when inhaled even in small amount. The resonating structure of ammonia. The chemical nature of N2O, it's neutral in nature. The structure is linear. The NN bond length is 113 picometer and NO bond length is 119 picometer. Next is nitric oxide or NO. In NO, it's an odd electron species. It is formed by the reaction of sodium nitrite with ferrous sulfate in presence of sulfuric acid. So if you take acidified ferrous sulfate solution and to it if you add sodium nitrite and you heat it, you get a nitric oxide gas released. It is also a colorless gas. It attains blue color when liquefied. It is sparingly soluble in water. Aqueous solution of NO is again neutral. If you dip both acid and basic, that is red and blue litmus, it does not turn. So it's neutral in nature. In the resonating structure, either O has an odd electron or N has an odd electron. The bond length between N and O is 115 picometer. N2O, that is NO, N2O3, nitrogen trioxide. N has +3 oxidation state. It is prepared by the reaction of nitric acid with nitrogen tetroxide and cooling below -20 degrees Celsius, we get dinitrogen trioxide. So NO plus N2O4 and you cool it to a temperature to -20, then you get N2O3, or by the decomposition of HNO2, anhydride of nitrous acid is N2O3. It is an acidic oxide it reacts with base to form salt. In the resonating structure, there is N single bond N, and one N has a double bond with O, and the bond length of the double bond are 114 and that of the single bond 121, and N in bond length is 186. Nitrogen tetroxide, that is NO2 or N2O4, it is formed by the decomposition of lead nitride. Lead nitrate PbNO3, you get a brown gas which is NO2 or N2O4. The brown gas is of NO2. The mixed anhydride of HNO2 and HNO3 forms NO2. NO2, when you react with NaOH, you get sodium nitrite, sodium nitrate and water. It is an acidic oxide as it turns blue litmus red. The resonating structure has N double bond O and N single bond O, and N has a unpaired electron, due to which it is unstable and it exists as N2O4. It has an angular shape with an angle 134 degree and the bond length 120 picometer. Because of resonance, both the NO bond length are 120 picometer, and it has one unpaired electron, which makes it paramagnetic in nature. NO2 undergo dimerization to form N2O4, that is dinitrogen tetroxide. But dinitrogen tetroxide is colorless as it does not have an unpaired electron. So NO2 dimerizes to a colorless molecule N2O4. At low temperature, N2O4 is formed, and at high temperature, NO2 is formed. NO2 has a brown color, N2O4 is colorless. In N2O4, the bond angle is 135 degree, NO bond length 120 picometer. So if you cool NO2, you get N2O4. So NO2 gives N2O4, which is colorless solid, and if you take colorless solid heat, it will turn to brown color gas, and the temperature for heating should be greater than 140 degrees Celsius. So it exists in the equilibrium form that depends on the condition of temperature and pressure. Nitrogen pentoxide, that is N2O5, N with plus 5, you have NON, and it is formed when nitric acid reacts with phosphorus pentoxide. It forms metaphosphoric acid and N2O5. N2O5 is a colorless crystalline deliquescent solid. It readily dissolves in water to give nitric acid. HNO3 removes water to form N2O5. It is an anhydride of nitric acid. N2O5 reacts with NaOH to give sodium nitrate and water. It is acidic in nature as it turns red litmus blue. It has two resonating structure. The bond angle NON is 112 and ONO is 134. NO bond length 115 picometer respectively. So these are the different oxides of nitrogen. N2O5 exists as NO2 plus and NO3 minus nitronium nitrate. NO2 plus is nitronium, NO3 minus as nitrate. What is the covalency of nitrogen in dinitrogen pentoxide? The covalency, how many covalent bond does it form? It's 4. Maximum covalency of N in any of the compound is 4. Here it forms 4 bonds, so the covalency is 4 and the oxidation state is plus 5. It forms 4 covalent bonds, that is why the covalency of nitrogen is 4 in N2O5 and the oxidation state is plus 5.